All right, guys, Yasser here. Going to go over the install of the all-new Encore. So this was actually a product that we showed off and debuted at World Cup 2018, now in fruition and production, released at World Cup 2019. So what we're going to see here, this is actually the Encore for the LUXE 1.0 to LUXE OLED, and that's signified here by the blue back cap. Now, if you have a LUXE Ice, the back cap will be red, as the mounting position is different from the OLED to the Ice. So let's take this bolt apart first. So what we're going to see here is a new blue bolt guide. Notice here the bolt guide has much larger channels, more volume. What that volume is going to do is going to reduce our operating pressure and give us a smoother shot. Now you notice here the shape is different for the bolt guide as well from 2.0 markers forward. Setting this aside, let's look at the bolt. Now you've seen this coating before. This is known as the ice coating. What we have here is the new Encore bolt. So it is lightweight. There is no springs in this bolt kit whatsoever. New hollow face, as well as a lighter rear tail. Now, one thing that did change from the previous LUXE bolt kit to the Encore here, you're going to notice now that there is two bumper O-rings, which are 1370s, located on the bolt. Previously in the LUXE, the bumper O-rings were located down on the bottom of the bolt guide. Now on LUXE OLED, this is still a threaded piece into our back cap here. The can, very, very similar to the LUXE Ice, so you are going to get that reliability in the coating. With that said, here is my LUXE 1.0. If we remove the bolt kit here from the 1.0, this is the original bolt kit that shipped with LUXE 1.0. No windows in the can, no springs, as well as a different looking bolt guide from 2.0 and OLED. So if we set the bolts aside, the big difference here being the bolt guides. The volume is different here as well. The O-rings are further apart on the Encore than they were on the standard LUXE 1.0 bolt guide. Now, as well as the can, vastly different. And then lastly, the bolt. As you see here, a bolt face. This is actually a 2.0 bolt with the spring removed versus the Encore bolt here. Bumpers located on the rear tail, no bumpers attached to the rear tail on the bolt here. To install the Encore, it's very simple. You don't need many tools. We'll put this back together. So what you're going to need to remove is the back cap and the latch mechanism from your existing bolt kit to put on your Encore. So we'll need two Allen keys here, a 5/64 to remove the latch and a 1/16 to remove the actual latch mechanism from the previous bolt kit to our Encore. Now, to kind of talk about the Encore, people have been asking, does it improve efficiency? No. So what you're going to get with the Encore here is a smoother shot, more reliability, as well as that signature sound that we have with the LUXE. We've shot this bolt kit. I got to actually test it at World Cup. This is fresh from World Cup, so I haven't got to shoot this particular bolt kit yet. I came back to lovely Ohio. It is 12 degrees outside, so that's going to wait a couple weeks here to get shot. But to the install here, we're going to grab our 5/64 Allen key. And simply here on, so this is for 1.0 and OLED, remove the tail cover. Once your tail cover is removed, you will have a 1470 O-ring here. This is to help the latch mech. Simply remove the 1470 O-ring. Set that aside. And then you have a 1/16 screw. Remove the 1/16 screw and pull up on the latch mechanism. Now be mindful, there's two little 3mm O-rings on here. They are made out of Buna material and there is quite a bit of opening and closing. They do move around, so they can be damaged. So you want to make sure that you are careful with those when removing. And to install, simply put onto your Encore. Drops in, Reusing your 1/16 screw, install. And reusing your 1470 O-ring, simply put on the back here, over the top, and make sure your latch mech works. Lastly, our 5/64 screw. Go ahead and drop that in. Using your finger, lift up on the latch mechanism, slide the tail cover on, and thread in. So as we said again, Encore has no springs in it, so no longer are you going to have to worry about a bolt spring wearing out. So why did we do the Encore? Well, kind of to do an update for our players that still shoot the Lux. Being that the LUXE 1.0 debuted in 2008, this marker is now 11 years old. This is one of the only guns in paintball that you can still pick up to this day and play a competitive tournament with it. We see many players still using their LUXE 1.0 to OLEDs, so we decided to come out with an engine that'll bring their gun to the modern age. Increased reliability, increased performance, smoother, quieter shot. Now with that said, with the larger volume, those players that do retain a Parker solenoid here, being our black solenoid, you will have to up your dwell 2 milliseconds from 16 to 18 milliseconds. So we'll turn the marker on.
Powering on. Welcome to the LUXE experience. Battery level 75%. Firing mode Millennium.
So once the 2.0 board goes through its sequence,
Programming mode.
go to
Main
dwell.
Menu. Firing mode. Dwell. Setting. 16 milliseconds. 17 milliseconds. 18 milliseconds. Battery level 70.
And your dwell is set to 18 milliseconds.
Firing mode Millennium.
So what I'm going to do here for you, turn the eyes off, make sure the solenoid's firing. As you can see, the bolt does not press into the breech. So it's not sprung like a 2.0 bolt. Your eyes will not read anything while the bolt is in the rear position. Throw this tank on here. Gas up the marker. Make sure there's no leaks. Throw on our handy tech silencer. Now, mind you, this marker here is chronoed right around the 290 to 300 feet per second mark. The gun doesn't move. And to prove that here, so with a silencer on here, you can really hear that feather touch actuating. Now, one of the awesome things with this now, for our LUXE Ice owners, is by bumping up the dwell, we can now run the feather touch plug as well as tuning in the feather touch manifold. So those that do not know, the feather touch plug is going to control the forward stroke of your bolt kit. And so it's going to control how fast your bolt comes forward by adjusting that 050 screw for the manifold. The rear screw, or my apologies, the feather touch is going to adjust the forward speed of the bolt. So by having that plug in, it's going to adjust how fast your bolt comes forward. By adjusting that 050 screw inside your grip frame here, which is going to be located right in here. By turning this screw in, it's going to control how fast the bolt comes backwards, thus the kick of the marker. Very, very audible. Here, I'll show you. You can know if you go too far. But to tell you've gone too far, you will hear your marker wheeze.
Vision off.
So if you turn too far in, you hear that wheeze, turn out, and you have it just where you'd like it. Perfect. And that is how to install the LUXE Encore on your LUXE marker.